Negroes, do your duty.
You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
can kill all the black folks you want to, baby, but you will not kill the freedom of black folks. It's coming. We're going to get it. We fought every one of your damn lousy wars, baby, and you give us nothing. Now, the war is going to be here, but we're going to be free. Now, you kill you want to, but we kill too.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Okay, let's see. And I messed around, so didn't even hit the loop. How unprofessional is that? We're gonna go all the way down there, and we're gonna just go there. Maybe we're gonna drop Lofi down just a little bit more. That's a little low. Bring it up a little bit. I felt like Lofi was dropping me out yesterday, so I'm gonna try to stay under the red at all times today. Just checking in with some audio. Give me one quick second. One quick second.
You got one life, you better be on the motorcycle.
Okay. That's Fred. Fred's good.
No problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
All right. Think we're good. So I'm trying out, I don't know if it's going to come through or not. I'm just trying out something with Rumble. I had a title already in there, so I just felt like I might as well just go up with this title. Ex-Freedman. Are you saying that you are an ex-Freedman, or you just go by ex-Freedman? So you have kind of a Nation of Islam, American Freedman combo going. If you're still here, break that down for me, because I've never seen an ex-Freedman, like, because you're not saying ex-Freedman like former Freedman. I think you're saying ex-Freedman, like, or maybe your name is Xavier. I don't know. Your name could be Xavier. So clarify that for me. When you feel it, if you feel it, if you're still even here. I don't even know if you're still here. But yeah, I'm just trying to really figure out if this audio is going to come through Rumble. I believe it's Rumble. And if it does, if it's successful, then we'll go from there. But yeah, the title was already in the queue, so I just kind of went with it. And then ex-Freedman got in and said some things right at the beginning of the stream. Well, before I was actually even here. Since I have full custodial custody of my two sons, congratulations, brother. I was granted to me upon the finalization of my divorce from their mom in November 2005. My oldest was 10 and my youngest was 3. So 2005, 18 years ago. So they're 28 and 21. Okay. Now, currently. I want, given the house and child support, I maintain custody of them until they both turn 18, which was 2013 and 2020. Their mom was a deadbeat. She was on every other weekend, mom. Okay, I got you. She got multiple 20s of thousands of dollars behind on child support. She never did much of anything for them. As school supplies, as far as school supplies, I get it. And she only came to only a handful of their sports games. Wow. And other school or social activities during the 8 years that I had custody of my oldest and the 15 years that I had custody of my youngest. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, brother, because they definitely deserved better. Your sons deserved better. And those situations are not few. There's many of those situations out there where the parent does not play their part. We don't hear about it as much publicly, where the father has custody of the kids and the mother does not. She gets parenting time, but there are cases. I mean, we have ex-Freedman's case. We have my case, I can go from my case. I can go from a limited stance, ex-Freedman's case. That's an interesting situation there. Give me one quick second. Yeah, that's an interesting situation there. And the fact that there was no accountability made, that's a shame. That's really a shame. So anybody coming into the chat will see that until we get another comment up. But a lot of times you find fathers who get custody of their kids. A lot of times you will find that they end up doing more for the kids out of the need, not just because they are, overdoing parents, but they do it out of necessity because the mother did not take care of her business. You just don't hear about it a lot. I've spoken about it before, but it's not something that I had a unique situation. So, but I can feel where X Friedman is coming from by really the kids being jilted, from the support, and they needed more than the monetary support. A child needs the parental support. I mean, the money's good. Don't get me wrong. The money's necessary, but what a child really needs is the parental support. They need that spiritual support that a parent can give. And whether the parents, dropping off bags or whether they're just paying their mandated child support in any certain way, that does not supersede the presence of the parent. So I think the parent should always be there. I think the parents should always involve themselves. I know it doesn't always happen. I get it. But I think if all possible, because that is your child. And although millions of kids are raised by their non-biological parent, if you have the opportunity, you should be there. But if you choose not to, that's on you as well. I will lobby for people that want to be there, but I'm not going to lobby for someone who doesn't want to be there just for the sake of saying, oh, the kid deserves their parent. The kid doesn't deserve neglect. So I'm not going to push someone to be a parent. I can't push someone to be a parent. And pushing a man to be a parent is a really tough thing. It's a really tough thing. If I've got to push you to want to be a daddy, you're a father by general science, biological science. You're a father, but does not make you a daddy. And I can't teach you how to be a daddy. I just can't. I can't make you a daddy. You've got to want to be a daddy. Now, I can teach you some things about it, but I can't teach you to want to be a daddy. So, but I sure hope this Rumble thing works. Like I said, this was more of a trial stream. We can definitely go over this subject in more depth one day, but I'm really just trying to see how the audio is going to be if it does come through Rumble. If I was able to get, I don't know if it's a video component. I don't really know Rumble. But we're going to see if it actually comes through, because I think it's supposed to basically take the same feed that the YouTube takes. So however that works out, it should be the same feed. So I don't know if it'll show the YouTube chat on Rumble, or if that's something that's synced in. Like I said, I've never really watched anything on Rumble to see how it operates. I was just told to do it, and so I downloaded it, and it said it was synced in. So we'll see. We'll see. Interesting day. Just to let you know. Went out this morning. Went out this morning. And I'm going to take this down so you can see side of the car. And I was in a parade. I was in a 1978 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. And I was supporting Ken McGee, who is running for sheriff of Washtenaw County. And it was a good event. It was enlightening. I saw some things that I probably wouldn't have paid attention to had I just been there, just in my little space and watching the stuff pass by, because I was able to venture through being a part of the parade and see the different faces and different families and different people that were there. It was an interesting situation. Lots of smiles, lots of friendly people today. Ken and his wife Dawn, they threw out candy. Well, they actually handed the candy. That's what I liked about what Ken was doing and what Dawn was doing. They actually handed the candy to people. They didn't throw it. Like, people were throwing stuff from some of the floats and whatever you call them, things that the ride through the parade. They were throwing the stuff at them like they were throwing it at dolphins or, like I don't know, sea animals. It was really weird. It was like, wouldn't you want to walk up to people and say, hey, here you go, and then salute your cause? But they were literally throwing this stuff. People were on the sidewalk and they were throwing this stuff from the street, and the people were scurrying and, on the concrete for dum-dum gumdrop pops and shit. I'm not crawling on the ground for a penny lollipop. You can't put that in my hand. I don't want it. It's a penny. It cost a penny because you only charge me 10 cents in your store. So if it costs a penny, yeah, that's what it cost a penny because you're not charging me 10 cents and you paid 5 cents. No, when you buy a dum-dum drop, that thing's probably worth a penny. You buy them like wholesale and stuff. So they were throwing that stuff at people, and it was crazy to me, that they couldn't just run up to people and give them stuff. But Kenny, was talking to people. People were asking him about his campaign, and it was a good thing. It was a good thing. So I was just driving the Trans Am, represented with the Juneteenth flag, of course, the freedom flag. See, it's not just on Juneteenth. So I look at it as a freedom flag. I did a little short video that I put up like on Facebook earlier, did a little short video. And this is what the video was. It's basically a picture before we did the video where I had the Juneteenth flag out there next to the Trans Am, next to Kenny's sign. And then, then I just explained while I was there, because Kenny, was doing stuff. He was putting stuff on the car, and then he was like, I thought you didn't celebrate, 4th of July. And then, so then I had to break it down for him, and then we just got the recording. So it was no big deal, but it was a good time. Seeing a lot of people was honking the horn, driving through, talking to people, saying McGee for sheriff. It was a good day. I felt like, one of those things where what I need people to see is Kenny as, like a real person out here and shit. He's not just somebody, because I talk about him in his, elevated police history and whatnot, but he's just a normal cat out here, and he's a good dude, and he has not only the police experience, but he's got the people experience to really understand what's going on in this county. He's not a systems guy to the point where, that's really how he's gauging a lot of these things. Sometimes you have to go with statistical data, but a lot of times you got to go with just plain old common sense. So Kenny, really works it, with plain old common sense a lot of times. And that's what I really like. Because I think policing needs more of that than anything. Policing definitely needs more common sense. I know we talk up on transparency, accountability, this, that, and the other. How about common sense? Okay. If we can get a little common sense in the joint, we'd be tight. I think we'd be tight up in here. So, we're looking at what I got going here. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I'm actually, intrigued about this Rumble thing because people have told me some things about it. So, we want to see, we want to see if it's gonna work,
Your ass is next.
Oh, that was just one of my drops. I'm going through them and just, So yeah, I didn't even share this because I really wasn't planning on being on here a long time. And but yeah, I think more Black men deserve the opportunity to raise their children. I know many fight and don't win custody a lot of times, and I think that more Black men need to be given the opportunity to raise their children and give the parenting time to the mothers, because sometimes the mothers really don't want to be full-time parents anyway, but they'll keep the kids away from the father just to spite the father because their relationship didn't work out. A lot of times that's the case. A lot of times the mother will fight for custody just to spite the father, even though she knows she doesn't want the kids full-time because she's already had them full-time with another person, and that was tough. So why not get out here, and now she can get her thing off the ground. Maybe she held up her career while she was raising the kids. Now she can go get her career and go be who she wants to be. And I don't fault her for that. I don't fault her for that at all. But a lot of women will try to do that, try to do the school thing or get back into their career thing, plus raise the kids thing, then get all stressed thing. And then what you got? Then you got a stressed out single parent. You got a stressed out single parent. You could easily develop into an angry single parent. It can easily develop into an abusive single parent. You know, and she's minimized the father's capabilities to do things because she's wanted to control things through the separation, through the divorce, through whatever. And she's tried to manipulate all of that. Now she's got herself backed into a stressful corner. Now she wants to draw the father back in after she's minimized him and paternally emasculated him. Now she wants to draw him back in. I've seen those situations too. And it's tough for the father to gain traction as quickly as he needs it because he's been put off for so long and minimized for so long in the children's eyes. He's looked at by the children the way their mother looks at him, and their mother doesn't like him and she disrespects him and probably says things behind his back to the kids or having the kids within earshot. So he is where he is with the kids. So now he's got to work his way back to, you know, at least sea level. I mean, because he's drowning. So he's got to at least get his head above water. And then you kind of go from there. But see, the number has jumped up. It went down. And I have no idea where anybody's watching from because nobody's really saying anything. But yeah, you know, like fathers, they've proven to be, and especially black fathers, they've proven to be really well-rounded people. When they do take custody of their kids, they tend to generally be more organized than the average father, you know, more calculated than the average father. And then you got to understand where this comes from, because many single fathers have full custody of their kids, were raised by single mothers. You really just started seeing more and more single fathers out here with kids, with custody. But you saw more single mothers back in the day. Now you're seeing more fathers. So you can gauge, you can get some science, you can get some statistics off of when young men who become custodial parents of a child or children, they come from a single mother home, they tend to be a little bit more calculated, a little bit even more protecting, because they know that they're on the front line, in the middle line, they're the back line. So it is what it is. Just looking here. But I just believe that, you know, if the courts were fair, they would grant custody to black fathers more but the courts are very, very biased. And, you know, if you've got a biased court, then it means you got to go over and above what the supposed expectations are. And if you can't go over and above it, you've at least got to meet every single piece of criteria, because they're going to grill you. They're going to grill you. When black homes were being broken up, they weren't being broken up so the men could take the kids. They were broken up so the women could get the kids so they could get the subsidies and then put men on child support. There really wasn't an infrastructure set up for women, because women were really just getting themselves into the traditional workforce. They weren't just the help. There's more women that were at home getting their lives totally subsidized by the government and child support, not given much of an incentive to get out and do more. They would never allow a man to do that, nor that should they, but I'm just saying. So I just think more men deserve the opportunity, you know. They deserve the opportunity, and I don't believe the system is still set up for a man to get a lot of the resources that women traditionally get, because they, being the birth parent, I hate that term because that's coming into play now too. They want to just call mothers birth parents. It's like, so there's a non-birth parent and there's a birth parent. They want to get rid of mother and father. They just think it's too, I forgot what the word they use. But they think it's too, whatever that is, you know. So they want to just make the male the non-birth parent and the female the birth parent, and just get rid of mama and daddy. I know y'all have had to have seen that, right? Y'all have had to have seen that. I mean, it's not even remotely close to where I'm thinking. It's not remotely close, you know. So when I try to pull those types of thoughts into my head, I like totally flatline on stuff like that. Totally flatline on stuff like that. But it's all going to be put into proper play. Give me one quick second. So people are really tripping on this affirmative action thing. And I think people think that the whole affirmative action infrastructure has been, you know, extinguished, but it's not. There's some arms of it that have been broken. I guess I have to use that term. Yeah, there's some arms that have been broken in the affirmative action act. Experiment, as I called it before. It's an experiment. Affirmative action was an experiment. It's an experiment that's just been going along, getting poked at, you know. It's just another obstacle to overcome. It will affect some, but it will not affect all. And if we focus, it doesn't have to affect many. I'm going to drop some audio. I'm probably going to do that right after I get off of here. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'm going to read something. I'm going to find something. I'll do that. But yeah, interesting that I've seen a lot more fathers taking custody of their kids, and really succeeding at it, like really succeeding at it. Some have had the support of the mother. They haven't all been deadbeat mom situations. Some have had the support, so that's been a good thing to see. And then, some encounter some opposition with the mother, dealing with the child, and I get all of that. So I try to stay in that frame of don't let the other person dictate how you parent. You still have to be the parent that you need to be. Don't let them dictate how you parent. And when they do start to dictate how you parent, then that's a tough thing. That becomes a tough thing. So I did the first 30 minutes without any bed. So now I'm going to do a bed on a continual basis and see how it sounds. Trying to watch my levels because we're getting the audio platform up this week, so I at least want it to sound decent. And I thought I would just use these streams as guinea pigs because it's going to be all fed through the same systems. Just some people will be able to see slides, some people will just be on audio platforms. So just making sure that this is all coming through clearly. I think I've got like a minute in with the bed underneath. Hopefully it's audible. And if it's audible, we can go from there. But yeah, we've been talking a lot recently about the hierarchy where the Black American man, the Black American woman, the American Black, the American freedman, where they are in this infrastructure called America. And we've been speaking on it, and it's one of those things where our focus needs to come into play like right now. I personally don't think we need to wait any longer. We should wait any longer, could wait any longer. I think we need to get at it right now. If we don't get at it right now, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. We got a lot of silliness out here. We got a lot of goofiness out here. People ain't taking this thing seriously, and they trying to close down ranks. So being at the bottom part of this infrastructure, understanding that we are bottom caste people, but we do not have to live at the bottom of this infrastructure. We've got to focus. We've got to focus. And of course, we're going to continue to produce kids. If we're going to produce kids, then we've got to have something for these kids. That can't be a situation where we just procreate into poverty on purpose. Procreating into poverty on purpose. Sounds like a title of a stream. But what I'm doing now, trying to figure out like where people's minds really are. I mean, the violent acts that we've had most recently in the county, some people seem to be really concerned about them. And then I've seen many people really not say anything. Now, that's concerning on two levels. When you are not concerned about young kids getting shot down, young men getting shot down, young fathers getting shot down, when that doesn't make you stop and really have to take a firm look at things, I really got to wonder who you are. And if I don't know who you are, then I'm probably not going to mess with you anymore. But it's better for me to know who you are and that you're an ally versus just you just being around and I really can't, pinpoint who you are. I saw today, I brought this up because I saw today at the parade, I saw Black Americans, I saw Hispanics, Black immigrants, Indian, Asian, Middle Eastern. I saw there was a bunch of Caucasian people there. Some were gay. Because there was it the Jim Toy exhibit? So that group was a lot gay. Middle Eastern, yes, and they had floats. They had things. They had displays. What do you call them? In the parade. They were walking, and there were Asian businesses that had stuff in the parade. See, it was so crazy to see all of the different ethnicities that actually had floats in the parade today. Interesting. Very, very, very diverse. Very equitable. Very inclusive. Just saying. Should have been a better presence out there. For some Black organizations. I would have loved to have seen the Ann Arbor BSU out there. They could have did their thing. There's some other civic-minded groups out here that I don't believe are being promoted the way they used to be. And I think that's why a lot of kids are falling off and not doing a lot of extracurricular activities out here, is because things aren't promoted the same way they used to be. We need to get back to things being promoted in the schools, the churches, wherever, so kids stay in these extracurricular activities. It's another way to keep a lot of these kids off the street is they have to have something to do. They don't have nothing to do. They're gonna find something to do. So too many programs have shut down, and there's been absolutely no turnaround, absolutely no plan B to get new programs in play. But then you want kids to stay off the streets, but you ain't giving them nothing to stay off the streets from. It's just crazy to me. They expect something from these kids, but they don't want to give the kids what they need to succeed. The cost of things now versus the cost of things in the past, they need to just stop talking about them comparison. We don't need to know those stats. What's the point of having those stats? The things have changed. Do something about it. Compensate for inflation. Compensate for time lapse. Compensate for whatever. Tired of hearing that same excuse. Or don't say you want to get kids out the street. You're not coughing up no resources. You're not going to get a change. That's that. That is that. But yeah, where fathers are concerned, understanding the commitment of that everyday parent. We do that more than anybody. Nobody else does single parenting with fathers having full custody more than we do. That's in the stats. We also spend more clock hours with our kids than anybody else too. That's in the stats. That's been statistically found. Black men spend more time with their kids than any other men. Sure do. You know, and black men still got to work and they got to feed their kids. They got to do all kinds of shit. But they still find more time than anybody else to be with their kid. You know? That's a beautiful thing. I know some of y'all ain't gonna believe me. They're gonna be like,
did you say nigga?
Yeah, y'all ain't gonna believe me. I'm often disputed, but then nobody comes back and tells me that they went to try to check my information and found out that it was right. Nobody ever comes back to tell me that I was right. They just don't say nothing. But I know they be checking me. All y'all be checking me. Y'all be checking the stats to see if I'm telling the truth. What's the point of me getting out here and lying for y'all? Y'all like lies. Now y'all like lies. That's why y'all support Derek Jackson for sheriff. Because y'all like lies. Y'all been liking Jerry's lies, and now y'all liking Derek's lies. Y'all like lies. You know, y'all like lies. I don't really know too many lies about Alicia, so I don't really even talk about her lies. But, you know, maybe if Alicia's lied, it's all going to come out too. Hopefully she ain't lied. But you know, and you better find somebody that just don't lie. Say, I don't think y'all like Ken because he don't lie. Is that what y'all problem with Ken is? Because he don't lie? Y'all like to be lied to? That's what y'all gonna accept. Y'all just gonna accept somebody that just lies to you. I saw a post earlier, man. Somebody was getting in Derek Jackson's ass about something, saying he was just a big liar. It wasn't me. I didn't say it. I didn't post it. I don't know who it was, but whoever it was, they was upset, and it was in like one of the townie pages, one of the political, you know, things. And yeah, they was giving him the business. So all is not well, you know, in Derek Jackson's land. And it's not always me being a contrarian to Derek Jackson. You know, I'm going to be a contrarian one way or the other. But this person was showing flat out vitriol towards Derek Jackson. So it was some personal stuff. And I think it had something to do with, you know, the WCSO, you know, directly, but Derek Jackson must have been in play somehow, and this person was upset. They was upset. But see, you know, that's what happens when, you know, you got police situations, and you know, social workers are good people. Social workers are really good people. Look, I'm not just going to down social workers because two social workers are trying to become sheriff. You know, you got one retired executive police versus two people who've been social workers. In all fairness, Alicia Dyer was on active duty for the sheriff's department for about 4 or 5 years. So she's actually, you know, been in the streets. On the other hand, Derek Jackson has not. Derek Jackson is a certified police officer. He's absolutely a certified police officer, but he's never done any certified police work. He's a social worker. He's not a police officer, but they give him that because he went through the police academy, you know. So going through the police academy and getting his certification gave him the ability to call himself a certified police officer. I get it. I mean, I totally get it. But he's not police. So when you think of people that if they're not qualified for a job, and sometimes mothers, here comes that boomerang game, sometimes mothers are not qualified for the job. The job needs to be taken by somebody who is qualified. And sometimes that job is the daddy. Sometimes mom can't take care of the job. You know, that's when I look at Derek. I don't think he can take care of the sheriff job because I ain't seen him take care of the community engagement job, and I ain't seen him take care of the My Brother's Keeper job, and I ain't seen him take care of a lot of stuff. You know, it's just a lot of repetition of things. And where are the results? They better be glad Washington County ain't a nonprofit because they'd have to produce results after the project. Where can you produce some results? I'd love to see some results and some stats from Jerry's tenure. And nobody's going to bring these things up, but I'd love to see some stats, some year by year stats. I wish I had somebody that could do that statistical work. It takes a love for math because you're doing a lot of counting. And I get it. But I bet you that the 14 and a half years of Jerry being sheriff, it hasn't been as successful as people think it has. It's just been different. Technology's different. Things are happening in different ways. Their clearance rate is horrible. WCSO's clearance rate is horrible. And they can fluff the stats up as much as they want to. Yeah, you got these collars over here, all traffic violations or something. And you boost your arrest record up there. But I'm talking about serious crimes. Dude. When's the last time they caught somebody? I'm talking about caught somebody, not people turning themselves in. When's the last time they caught somebody through like a thorough investigation? Yeah, okay. It is what it is. But that's what happens when the mother fails. The father has to come in and take in. And that's where Ken McGee comes in, And I did a little video earlier today, and he talked at the end of the video. Regarding things that he would do. If elected sheriff. And he put it all out there because you have to put it out there. You can't just put it in these, these little memes and posts and stuff like that. People want to hear it from you. That's why I'd love to be able to get Ken McGee and Derek Jackson on a debate, and actually have Alicia too. Have all three sheriff candidates and moderated debate. I'm going to reach out to Derek Jackson and Alicia Dyer and see if they would like to have a candidates debate, and I would moderate it, and see what could happen with that. So yeah, and I don't know, how do you do that? Do you put that in individual message? 'Cause I'm just gonna send it probably via Messenger, because we're all on social media. And do you put that as a group text, like send it to all three of them? Send it to I'd send it to Ken, send it to Alicia, and send it to Derek, all together, so they all see that everybody's getting the same message, and then give everybody an opportunity to either respond privately or publicly. How do I put that together? I need to figure that out. I need to figure out the most tactful way to do that. Because the way I want to do it, I just want to send it to all three of them. I don't care. I'll send it to all three of them, like, hey, just putting something out here, blah, 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 bam, bam, bam. And then even I want to, put an addendum on it, and say I've obviously shown open support for Ken McGee, but as a moderator, I can be proven to be, non-biased based, figure. Because that my professional credibility is on the line then. And people can know that someone, is a Democrat, but just because a Republican comes on, they don't have to show that they're a Democrat, right? So it's that same type of vibe. So I'm not worried about it. So maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try reaching out to them and see if they would entertain a debate, with all the candidates, and we go from there and see if that could work. But 50 minutes in here. Been light in the chat. I'm sure people are doing stuff on Sunday. Didn't expect anybody. And I didn't send out any notifications. And I didn't send out any shares. So, my timeline's pretty dry, so it's all good. But I generally send out the shares. And I didn't send out any shares just because I really wanted to see if it went on Rumble. But I also am going to get up here. I'm going to have a discussion. So having a discussion, doesn't mean can happen, just if it doesn't go up on Rumble. But if Rumble does catch the stream, it'll be interesting to see if there's any feedback on it. X Friedman, I appreciate you dropping in early. You dropped in early, left those comments. Appreciate you. Hopefully you have subscribed to the Villager on Deck. Need you to do that. Appreciate you. And anybody else that's going to check this on the playback, I appreciate that as well. But yeah, it's been good. But check out Rumble, the Villager on Deck. This is the profile pic. Should be, if you see this profile pic, hit that. Or if you get like an invite, like on Facebook or something like that, and this is the profile pic, this is what I am trying to get you to come over to the Rumble spot. Let's get ready to Rumble. I'm going to get that as a drop. I bet you nobody's using that as a drop. Nobody's using that as a drop. All right. So what we got here? 53 minutes in. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to do this audio right now, see how this works out. Y'all be good. Crossing my fingers for the Rumble feed. One love.